Good day and greetings from the Great Way North. My name is Prickly Poo and welcome to day 258 of a year of change. Today we're going to sort of go back and touch on something that I originally was going to show you last week. I was going to, and then we had some we'll get to that in a second. Last week I had come across this documentary. It's, well, not really a documentary. It's a news show from Canada called The Fifth Estate. Sort of a 60 minutes investigative, we uncovered all your secrets sort of thing. And they were doing sort of a report in tandem with another Canadian show that we've seen before called Marketplace. Now, The Fifth Estate is the same one that we did weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks ago on the war on wheat. Generally speaking, they're very, very good. They're very pragmatic with, they're very objective. Not pragmatic. Oh, yeah, they're pragmatic. But they're very objective in their reporting. They go out, they find the facts, and then they confront the people that need to be confronted. They support the people that need to be supported, things like that. So it's a reliable source. They were actually doing a report in conjunction with Marketplace about health supplements. Now, we've talked about, not just health supplements, but like diet pills and everything else. And part of the reason why I sort of want to revisit this, part of the reason why I want to revisit the topic this week is because we had met Lampu earlier on this week. And although for the record, I'm not a supporter of diet pills across the board. I don't think we should be taking them. I never will be taking them. I understand why people do, but I don't think that we need it. And I'm not explaining myself very well. I had this out in my head exactly what I wanted to say because I'm trying really hard not to come across as holier than thou or sanctimonious or anything like that. It's not that. I personally don't think that anyone should be taking these. They're very, very dangerous in the long run. Essentially, they're just speed. They do work, but they work for a reason. And it's not for me. It's not the way I'm going to be doing it. It might work for some other people, but the reason why we sort of look beyond that is because the support system that we can give people is going to be much better than, any holier than thou attitude that we can come across or a sense of superiority because we didn't use diet pills. So, there are some people that are going to be, I did everything all naturally. Well, good for fucking you. It's not going to be the same thing for everybody. So, being able to support someone, I think, is much more important than looking down our nose at them. But across the board, and this, just to go on record, I don't think anybody should be taking diet pills. I think they're very, very bad. But it's not just diet pills. This documentary actually looks at diet supplements as well. I should probably put those in little air quotes because they're sort of like health supplements is another thing that they call them. And what had originally started this out was they started looking at all the different supplements that were out there because we talked about this a little while ago, a few weeks, maybe? Anyway, that right now there's about half the population that are on some sort of health supplement. And it doesn't matter if it's just like echinacea or St. John's wort or all these herbal remedies or anything else, which is just, it's the modern day equivalent of snake oil. It really is. And that people say, well, no, if you take this, then it improves your memory, or if you take this, it'll help you lose weight. If you take this, it'll help you, raise your metabolism. Anything that we've tested out like this, and this is a real problem that I have, that people seem to be just so terrified of actual science and just saying, well, no, you can't believe it. There's more to life than just evidence. Well, fuck off. No, there isn't. If you can't prove it, then it doesn't exist. Period. So when you have a group that is saying, well, you need to take this for this symptom and this for this symptom, it doesn't matter if it's sort of natural remedies or herbal or whatever they want to call it, there's no benefit to it whatsoever. And we've been able to prove that time and time again. But this documentary doesn't actually go so much into the, does it work or doesn't it work? So much as the stuff that you're buying anyway, that you think is going into the pills, may not be what you're buying. And that's what they started looking at the regulation or lack of regulation on health supplements and how poorly it's regulated here in Canada. There's almost none in the States and pretty much everywhere else because it's not seen as medicine. It's not seen as anything beneficial. And they look at it and go, it's not really harmful if you're taking extra of anything, which it can be. They do talk about that as well. But just in general, that whole, if you take this pill, then this is going to cure this, and this. Instead of saying, well, no, we need to, work on your exercise, we need to get you to lose weight, you need to quit smoking, you need to quit drinking, you need to quit doing everything that's bad for you if you want to improve your health. And no, the medicines that we have tested time and time again over the past few hundred years, those are the ones that work. Those are the ones that you should call medicine. There you go. All this extra bullshit that's in there, you just simply don't need. Now, again, they do talk about sort of having too much of a good thing. You can have an overabundance of, I think they talked about vitamin C at one point. But there's, I don't know, there seems to be sort of that resistance when actual doctors are saying no, and the majority of doctors are saying, no, you shouldn't be taking these. Number one, you don't need them. You can get all the things that you need from food if you eat a balanced diet, leftovers from yesterday with cereal. Just if people are eating properly, if they're getting exercise, yes, there are going to be some things that are going to be, you're iron deficient, so you may need to take something that way. But it's something that you should go to your doctor for, not so that you can go, I feel kind of down in the dumps. I think I'll look this up myself. Oh, look, I'm deficient in iron. Because you might not be. You might just need to, eat properly again. But they do talk about the regulation, which was a major point of concern throughout the entire documentary. And in Canada, there's always sort of been that era of, well, no, you know what, we don't have as many of the bad, weird shit that goes on down in the States. But what they found is that Health Canada is actually approving some of these things for sale in less than 2 weeks' time, which is ridiculous. It's like saying, well, I have this magic carrot, and if you let me sell it, then it's going to cure this and this and this. Everything's going to be great. And then Health Canada has just been going, all right, seems fine. It's within 2 weeks, send it out, and they start selling them. So the regulations are just deplorable here. And Marketplace, actually, or Fifth Estate, sorry, wrong one. Fifth Estate actually tried to reach Health Canada to get an interview, and they kept refusing over and over and over. So they know that they're doing something wrong. So, no, I'm not saying, oh, well, Canada's so great, the U.S. is all fucked up. But we're all fucked up everywhere. Stuff like this really gets to me because, especially with something that, like, Health Canada is basically our version of, well, it has Medicare and everything else. It's our public health system. And it's just, that's why we can go into a hospital, spend all day getting all the tests that we want, and we can leave and we still own our home afterwards because we have Health Canada. And they're there to, oddly enough, give guidelines so that, that are healthy or beneficial to the majority of Canadians, where they say, well, like Health Canada, these are the people that originally start saying, you shouldn't be smoking because it can cause cancer. We've run all the tests, we can prove it. Here's what the problem is. Same thing with asbestos and eating too much meat and not getting enough exercise. All of these things that we've known for years we get from Health Canada. And to have something like that, a section of our own government say, yeah, it's fine. Put it through. It's no better than eating styrofoam peanuts, but there's no harmful benefits to it. It's just considered a health supplement. So the wording is all wonky, and that's how they can sort of slip through. But the fact that they're approving it so early is just more annoying than anything else. But it's pretty much unregulated throughout the rest of the world as well. That it doesn't matter what you come up with. If you can say to someone, no, this is all natural remedies and it'll help. Airborne. There's the perfect example right there. This is a fucking placebo made by a school teacher that they went, oh, there you go. This will help you. It'll prevent you from getting a cold. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. They've been able to prove it doesn't. But people still buy it. They still take it. They still think that it does all this stuff. And it's really no better than, it's like we're living in the Dark Ages, for God's sake, where people are saying, no, we understand that witchcraft is a real thing, and if they make this little brew, we drink it, we won't get sick anymore. And then we'll sacrifice cats and kittens and puppies and everything else, and I'll burn a donkey's tail on my neighbor's door. It's all this sort of bullshit that still seems to permeate everything. And when you have, the odd thing is that, and they've shown, they've done studies on this as well, that, and this is going to sort of go back to the vaccinations and autism and all the other bullshit that people still believe, that it doesn't seem to matter how many people are leaning towards one way. If you have 99% of all people saying, you know what, vaccinations do not cause autism, there has been no link whatsoever. There is one doctor who said, oh, it causes autism. He then admitted he made it up. He admitted that he lied during his report. He admitted that there was no connection whatsoever. I think he lost his license. He should have. was completely debunked, admitted he was wrong, and that there was no connection. And yet it has persisted for 20 years to the point where people are still not getting their kids vaccinated, and we have outbreak after outbreak after outbreak over diseases that we have pretty much eradicated for the past 50 years. Because for some reason, people seem to still latch on to that, no, I heard this from one source, so obviously it must be true, and everybody else that's involved has just been lying. In general, if there's a vast majority of people that are saying, not just lay people, but real actual medical professionals that are saying this is good, this is bad, as much as we may not want to admit it, the processed meat thing, they've been able to prove, yes, okay, we can prove conclusively it causes cancer. They didn't say to stop eating it. They didn't say that it was any great big surprise. They were saying, no, we've known that this is the risk for a long time, just that we can conclusively prove it. People went batshit over that, but I guarantee you eventually it's going to wane. People are going to start going, oh, it doesn't really cause cancer. It cures cancer, and no one knows any different. I don't know if that sentence made any sense. I don't think it did. But there seems to be just, you get one little voice of dissension, and then people just sort of go against not only common sense, but, medical opinions of people, and this is sort of systemic of, that's not the word I'm looking for. I can't talk at all because I'm all grumpy now. Sorry. You're really riled up over this shit and can't even talk. This gets me every single time because you have people that are saying, well, no, I keep going back to the vaccination thing, but we're going to stick to the diet supplements and health supplements and all that stuff. When they say, well, you need to take one of these and one of these and one of these, and this is going to speed up your metabolism and it's going to help you burn fat and everything else. This is not what they do. There's nothing in there that's going to help you do that. And we know this. Deep down, we know this. But when you get these people that are saying, oh no, it's all natural and you need to do, this is like right up there with holistic medicine and homeopathy, which is just fucking water. That's all it is. There's nothing in it that works at all. And yet people are still going after it. The NHS in the UK is starting to debate whether or not they should pay for it for people. It's nothing. It's a placebo. It's literally water. That's it. There's no scientific reasoning behind it. There's no scientific proof that any of it ever works. Anecdotes are not evidence. There's the problem right there, is that people will say, well, no, my friend took this and he got better. Okay, well, that doesn't mean that there's a connection there. There's a correlation. It may not be causation, though. We've talked about that before as well. Anyway. All right, sorry, getting back to what we were supposed to be talking about, because I'm just going to get all grumpy and pissy and moany and everything else. This documentary, it's going to get back on track. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep on going and yelling at all those stupid people that are not getting their kids vaccinated and causing their kids to die, which they have done. Anyway, the documentary is called Magic Pills, and it really sort of looks at the vast majority of the health supplements that are out there that even if, they had all the ingredients in there that they say that they do, they still wouldn't work, but they really focus more on the deceptive practices that these companies put out there by stating things like, it will help cure cancer, or not necessarily cure it, but it can help prevent cancer. And it does this and this and this. And, they've received complaints from people. They've received complaints from doctors. And during a couple of the small interviews that she does, she actually asks them, what evidence do you have that this is effective? And it's a very simple question. She's not saying, oh, tricked you, I need to find out, reports and this and this and this. She does come back and say, we've read the reports, there's no connection there whatsoever. And the people that are peddling this shit are still saying, well, no, of course, this person says that it works and this person says it works. And she comes back again saying, yes, but what evidence is there? What medical studies do you have? And, of course, they cherry pick what they can, but in the long run, they don't have any evidence that any of this stuff works. The problem is that they don't have to. There's no regulation to it whatsoever. I could come up with something in my kitchen, and as long as it's not anything that's going to be toxic, I can mix in honey and sunflower seeds and soy milk and pack it into a pill and say, here you go, these are it's all natural ingredients, everything is healthy for you. And I can say, pretty much whatever I want about it, and it will get approved. I think the lowest number I heard was 10 days. Within 10 days of submitting this to Health Canada, they're getting approved for this shit. And they do nothing. So I sort of grouped those in there with, diet pills are something a little bit different. Diet pills actually have a significant danger to them, which is why I don't use them and why I don't recommend anybody use them. But again, go to your doctor. Your doctor's knowledge is going to trump mine every single time. It's just, for me, there's no. It's not for me. I want to do this in a way that I'm going to be able to sustain it, and I can't take diet pills for the rest of my life. So that's why. But anyway, I really went off on a tangent on this one, and I'm sorry. But the documentary itself is very interesting. Unfortunately, the reason why there was a delay, I was going to post this last week, but Marketplace actually got additional information from theirs, and they started to actually air it, and they stopped it. They prevented it from going to air, and they said, we're going to hold off on this until we investigate this a little bit further, because they found, I assume, because they don't really go into detail, that, something in the report may have been wrong. So they want to make sure that that's right. I was hoping it was going to end up airing this week, but it didn't. So what we're going to need to do is I'm going to show you the Marketplace one, or the Fifth Estate one. Sorry. I'm going to show you the Fifth Estate one this week. And then whenever the Marketplace one comes up, then we'll add that one in there and we'll sort of revisit that. And if it doesn't come for another few months and we're all done our year, I'm still going to put it up there just so that you can take a look. So take a look if you see it. It's probably going to be somewhere in there. Somewhere. I'm not sure what it's going to be called, but it's something about supplements, and it's from Marketplace. But the one for today is for the Fifth Estate. It's actually the same woman who did the War on Wheat as well. So I find with their stuff, it is very good. In general, it's, again, very objective. And she doesn't really sort of hold back and go, well, there's sometimes this might work. Just for the sake of balance, no. We know it doesn't work. Everybody knows it doesn't work. The people who peddle this and who make this, who manufacture this, they know it doesn't work. It also sort of goes into the production value of the pills. Is that the right term? It doesn't sound like it. Production regulations, I guess, of some of these, where they sort of outsource the production of the pills themselves and what sort of toxins can get into it and how the quality just drops and just plummets and just... Anyway, drops and plummets and falls and lowers. All four of them. Fucking idiot. Anyway, I won't go too deeply into it because you can watch it yourself, but you'll probably get a little bit angry at it as well. If you're like me and you're just like, no, there's no medical evidence saying that any of this shit works, go to where there's proof and get the facts from, the proper sources and say, there we go. These aren't anecdotes. These are hard facts showing, hey, look, insulin works. Look at this. Chemotherapy and radiation therapy works. Yes, they're fucking horrible, but they work. So it's just all this other stuff that sort of goes along with it. I really do equate it to sort of the old snake oil salesmen that are out there, or some god-awful witch's brew from 500 years ago that people still seem to go to. And I don't know what it is, if it's them just saying, no, I want to get an all-natural remedy. Well, sorry, but they don't work. There's a reason why we have medicine and why it's been developing for so long, because that's what we test. And when we find that there's something in there that's going to work, they continue testing. And when they find that, look, there we go, this is going to help you. This is why we have things like Advil and Tylenol and Imodium and Contac-C and other pills that solve other things. Because they know that it works. And you can say, well, yeah, they're all chemicals. Well, everything is chemicals, so it doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, getting off topic again. Main thing for this is the lack of quality in the health supplements, lack of any scientific evidence that any of it works. And overall, it's very entertaining, very informative as well. I really kind of was hoping that we would be able to do both of them at the same time, but it's going to be a while before Marketplace comes out with theirs. And maybe they'll explain then why there was a delay, which would be very interesting. Anyway, I've gone on for... Okay, not too long. Got very angry, talked very quickly, so it's okay. We're going to try to keep this under 20 minutes. So anyway, I'm going to put it into the recommended playlist again. It's called Magic Pills, and it's from the Fifth Estate, so you'll see that in there. And it's directly from CBC itself, so it should stay up there for quite a while. But anyway, I'm going to leave this here, because otherwise I'm just going to go off on a tear again and start yelling at people. In the meantime, though, get your kids vaccinated. Don't be stupid, because if you don't, you're going to kill your kids and everybody else. So, there you go. There's my message for the day. But other than that, I'm going to leave this video here, so thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please poke the like button for me. And in the meantime, keep yourself warm and fuzzy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.